evening, hockey fans. Welcome back on into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. It is playoff time in the NHL. 2 games in for just about every series. So we have one series that is just getting underway tonight. We have seen history. We have seen upsets. We've seen buzzer beaters. We've seen overtime. We've seen a little bit of everything so far in these playoffs, and it's only going to get better from here. The first round well underway. Some of the best hockey of the season. Meanwhile, some action with teams not in the playoffs. We've had some coaching firings occur. We had a general manager be excused earlier today. Lots of off-ice stuff happening as well. So lots to get caught up on, lots to keep you up with, and of course, 4 playoff games going on right now. Lots to do. Only so little time in which to do it. Buckle on up. Let's head into the neutral zone. And good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back on into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach along here with you. Zach, good evening. How are you doing tonight?
Good, Adam. How are you?
Doing all right. Lots to get into in the show here tonight. We've got playoffs going on everywhere. We've got history. We've got controversy. We've got teams up 2-0. We've got series that are split. Lots to get into on the show here tonight. And Zach is still making his notes even as we're getting ready to rock and roll here. We got 4 games on tap going on in the NHL tonight. We've got a bunch of other games that have gone on. We got to get caught up on some series. Lots to do on the show here tonight. We've got some off-ice stuff going on too. We've had some coaches get fired. We have a general manager that's not going to be back. We have lots to get you caught up on. Zach, I have a feeling your notebook is probably quite full tonight, isn't it? He's frantically scurrying away and making fresh
a busy night for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's kick things off. Let's have a quick word from our sponsors, and then we will dive right in and get you caught up on everything going on in the hockey world. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this. Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on Into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach back with you here. Thank you once again to each one of our sponsors for their support of this show and this station. You can also follow along with us on social media. We are on Twitter at IESR Neutral Zone. Zach is at The Pupless. I am at Adam_Karnick. All right, Zach. So let's start things off the way we typically do. We have 4 playoff games in the NHL tonight. How are things going to this point?
Yes, sir. We've got one that's final already. Hurricanes and Devils. Hurricanes won that one 3-1 to go up 2-0 in the series. We've got Senators and Maple Leafs at the end of 2 right now. Maple Leafs up 2-1 in that one. They blew out the Senators in game 1 a couple days ago. And the first game in the Battle of Florida is tonight. It's almost to the end of the first period, about 4 minutes and 18 seconds left to go. And the game's all tied up. So that looks to be another promising matchup, just like the Colorado-Dallas one out west.
Yes, yeah, that
Yet
Colorado.
to come. Yet to come tonight. Sorry, I missed this one. Still Wild and Golden Knights at 11.
Well, yeah, Wild and Golden Knight, that's not going to start till late. If you are, even if you're a Minnesota Wild fan, you got to stay up late for that one. Because let's face it, while they say 10 o'clock Central Time, we know that really means it's going to be like 10:20 before they actually drop the puck. That one, if you're a Minnesota Wild fan and you've got school or work tomorrow, you either just don't turn on the game or call in sick already, because there's
Right.
no way you're doing both. There's no way you're doing both for this one.
I was listening to that the other night there in game 1, and they had said something about game 2, and it's going to be at 8 p.m. local time here Pacific, or 10 p.m. Central. I was like, wait, hang on, that can't be right. I would think it was going to be another 10 p.m. And nope.
No, it is 11 o'clock in the East that they are dropping the puck, and
I thought they just did the math wrong.
Yeah, in reality, it's going to be probably 11:15 or 11:20 Eastern time before they actually drop the puck on that one tonight. It's going to be late when they get that one started. Oh yeah, that one's going to be a late one. Gonna be a late one there tonight. But
yeah.
Well, you brought it up there, the Toronto Ottawa series. To this point, Toronto absolutely took care of business in that first game against the Senators, 4-1, putting down a whipping on the Senators.
That was the name of the game on Sunday for all the games. It felt like Hurricanes beat the Devils 4-1, Maple Leafs beat the Sens 6-2, Golden Knights beat the Wild 4-2. All of them were just wide open.
Lots of wide open scoring. Yeah, lots of it. Is that are we seeing some bad matchups, or just do you think that's just kind of a one-off to this point?
Cue the Dixie Chicks. I don't, other than, well, I guess you could go 2 of the 3. So Hurricanes and Devils, I mean, it's what, the 2 seed versus the 3 seed, so that seems pretty equal. So that one's kind of surprising that they're up 2-0 already. But then the other 2, I mean, it's a number 1 seed versus a wild card, so that one is not really that surprising.
Yeah, well, even though with the Hurricanes and Devils being a 2-3, the Hurricanes are a really strong 2, and the Devils are kind of a weak 3. So I'm not shocked at seeing that. I did not expect the Devils to escape out of the first round in any way in this one. I figured that the Hurricanes would take care of business.
Nice. But hey, I mean, look at last night. You never know versus a wild card. I mean, Montreal sure as heck came back with a vengeance.
Yes, they did. There were several. You talked about Sunday being kind of the beatdown day. Then yesterday was the exact opposite. They were nail biters up and down the board. Yesterday, my goodness, we had 2 overtime games yesterday, and you had a game-winning goal being scored in the waning seconds of regulation. We very nearly had a third overtime game last night. Let's kind of take those one at a time here for a moment as we recap last night. Actually, we'll hold off on calling historic moments. Let's start with Capitals Canadiens. So you've got the Capitals very quickly going up 2-0 in that one. Ovechkin scores very late in the first period, and then Anthony Beauvillier scoring relatively early in the second period. They go up 2-0, and then see Montreal climb back into it. And suddenly you wind up, it's all tied up at 2 apiece. at the end of regulation with Montreal scoring twice in the third period to pull even on that one, force overtime. You have the Stars and the Avalanche going to overtime in that one, with it being very back and forth between the two. McKinnon scores, then Sagan scores, then Harley, then Drury, O'Connor. Nobody got up by more than a goal at any point at any time in that one yesterday. Probably the most boring of the bunch was Jets and Blues, where that was it was just 2-1 with Connor, Connor scoring relatively early on in the third. Just a straightforward 1-goal game with Connor Hellebuck just playing out of his mind, making 21 saves and the Jets pulling even on that one. And then the pièce de résistance is out in Los Angeles last night. Kings went up 4-0 and nearly blew the game.
Ooh.
They were up 4-0 and 5-2 or was it 5-3? Now I got to double check. It was 4-0 late in the second. Draisaitl finally scored with 6 seconds left in the second period. It was 5-2 Los Angeles. It got tied at 5 before Philip Deneau won it with 42 seconds left in regulation. Edmonton scored 4 times in that third period last night against Los Angeles.
Dang. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm seeing it right here. Okay, dang.
Some absolutely crazy games last night. So we're seeing a little bit of everything. We're seeing blowouts and we're seeing tight ones. Go ahead. What was
yesterday? It's almost like one game finished. Okay. Last night it's almost like one game finished and Jets and Blues. Okay. Well, all right. We got 3 total goals. All right. And the next team's like, okay, hang on. All right. We got Capitals and Canadians. All right. So we got 5 total goals. And then Avalanche and Stars are like, hold our beer. We got 7 total. And then Kings and Oilers are just like, just wait.
Yeah. Oh, we'll put you all out right here, right now. Absolutely. Yeah.
All trying to outdo each other in the barn burner category, apparently.
Exactly. Everybody trying to outdo each other with the barn burners at this point. Just nuts last night. Yeah. Absolutely nuts. But so to this point, so we've got Winnipeg is up 2-0 on St. Louis. Dallas and Colorado are tied. Toronto is seemingly going to go up 2-0 on Ottawa, but that's not done yet. Carolina is up 2-0 on New Jersey. Washington and Vegas, and then the Kings all up 1-0. And then we've got the Battle of Florida just finally starting tonight.
I know, isn't that wild? 4 days into the playoffs, like, wait, really? You couldn't have fit that in any of the other days?
Yeah, we couldn't fit this one in here, guys. Really? It's Florida. You're all retired. It's Florida. What else have you got to do but go to the hockey game? Come on, people.
That's one of the things I never understand about the scheduling. It's like, okay, guys, there's 16 teams, so that means there's 8 games or 8 different series. Okay, so how about 4 a day every day, and you alternate? But somehow they always manage to screw it up.
Yeah, we can't just do it simply. We've got to make this challenging here. We can't do it the easy way. That would be far too easy to do at this point.
File that under was it last year when they they started the next round before the previous round was over yet, technically.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. They started up the second round and there was still one first round series going on. It was, wait a minute. What are we doing? Whoa.
They had game 1 of round 2 and then game 7 of round 1 was the same night.
We got to go backwards here, folks. Don't worry. We'll all catch up. It'll all be fine in the end. But yeah, definitely unique, strange, unusual, all those good things for sure. Well, we've had some
But you gotta
history.
promise me we'll be back in time.
Back in time. Indeed. Well, we have had some history so far in the first round already. We've had 3 kind of historic moments. Which one should we do first? Do we want to do Washington, Minnesota, or Colorado for our historic moment?
Oh, got to go with the King now.
Got to go with the King? Okay. So, Alexander
Mhm.
Ovechkin, obviously we've been talking a lot about him lately for obvious reasons. He achieved something yesterday that he had never done in his career. Do you know what it was?
I didn't until you told me earlier.
Well, go ahead. Fill
An
us in.
overtime game winner.
An overtime game-winning goal. I did not realize. I would not have believed it had you said, when I saw it yesterday, it's his first career playoff overtime goal. It was what? That can't be. The guy's been playing hockey in the NHL for going on 20 years now. There's no way that was the first time in his career that he scored a playoff overtime goal. Apparently it was. I would have bet you anything that would not have been the first time, but I would have been wrong.
Right?
I would have been wrong.
Out of his 895, I did not expect that either.
Right. You would think. Now I know the 896. Those are just the regular season, so I know that wasn't counting in there. But still, yeah, you'd have figured that somewhere in there in that career that one of those goals in the playoffs would have come in overtime. All right, now should we do Colorado?
That he would have had
go
that
ahead.
notch in his belt already. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, history in Colorado or history in Minnesota? Colorado. So last night, the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars, they've been playing their series. Gabriel Landeskog returned to the ice after 3 years away. He is back out and skating for the Colorado Avalanche now, after basically 3 years away from the game. That is impressive. That is an impressive achievement.
Right.
He had that controversial. He had that controversial. He had the rare surgery where taking knee muscle from a donor cadaver and having that put into his body and then going from there. Same procedure that we talked about earlier this year. Same procedure that actually an NBA player had recently done, and he returned to the NBA this season. So now we've got another one there with Gabriel Landeskog coming back. So good stuff all the way around there. And then we've got history in Minnesota as well. So the Wild and the Golden Knights, they started their series on Saturday. For Minnesota, we had one of the first ever Israeli, the first Israeli born or one of the first ever Israeli born players to play in an NHL game. And he was making his NHL debut. in a playoff game.
Wow.
Zeev Buium made his NHL debut in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs in a first round series of the Stanley Cup playoffs with the Minnesota Wild on Saturday night.
Oh, he was with Denver.
Yes. Yep.
Because they referenced him in the Frozen Four coverage, and the Westerns coach had said, "That's not even fair." It's like, come on, Zeev, these kids are still in college, man.
Well, it's not like Zeev's old. He's 19.
Well, but he's just huge.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He is a big boy.
They were saying he's definitely like bound for the pros, like at the end of that, and the end of Denver's run. Like,
yes. Yep.
As soon as you said the name, I was like, oh, that rings a bell.
Yep. But yeah, what a time to make your NHL debut. Game 1 of the playoffs. And they still they let him go out and do his honorary solo lap around the ice to warm up. You know, they treated him like anybody else making his NHL debut. Marc-Andre Fleury gave him his honorary hazing to get in. I read that one too, that Marc-Andre Fleury, at first he was being really nice. They went in for a video meeting at first, and Marc-Andre Fleury, you know, brought him in ahead of time and, hey, you know, here's a great spot for you to sit, kid. This will be great. You'll be able to see coach really well, hear really well. It'll be great. So you go ahead and sit here. Okay. They come back to do the meeting 10 minutes later. Zeev sits down. Marc-Andre Fleury comes in a couple of minutes later, looks at him. You're in my seat, kid. Move.
Psych. Nice.
So, you know, so he gets all the usual typical NHL, you know, welcome to the NHL moments, but absolutely a crazy time to be out there. I'm pulling up his numbers right now. He wound up recording about 13 and a half minutes of time on the ice. So not a huge amount. You know, he was in the third defensive pairing. So not a huge amount of ice time, but still you know, that's ice time where you are you don't know anything but playoffs. You goes from the Frozen Four, you know, we talk about going from the Frozen Four to an NHL game a week later. How about from the Frozen Four straight to the playoffs?
Right. That's incredible.
That is bizarro. Absolutely bizarro. Yeah. So little bit of history going on in the first round. And then of course, you know, Vegas takes the game 4-2. Well, let's take for ourselves a quick break, and then how about we talk a little bit about that battle of Florida that has just finally gotten underway tonight, shall we?
That has finally broken the tie. It's 2-1 now at the end of one. So yeah.
All right, there we go. So yeah, we'll come back and we will dive into the Battle of Florida a little bit. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You'll be right back after this.
Hey, sports fans. Do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach back with you. So we talked about it a little bit, the quirk in the schedule there where almost every other series has at least started, and several more have completed 2 games or will complete 2 games by the time the battle for Florida finally begins. But it is here. The battle for Florida between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the defending champion Florida Panthers is finally upon us. We're at the end of one. And I saw it was 2-1. Is it Tampa or Florida up 2-1 there, Zach? What was the scoring on that?
2-1 Florida.
2-1 Florida. So the Panthers lead 2-1 at the end of one. Could there be any advantage, do you think, for these guys for having the series be the last one to start and by a fairly wide margin? Is there any advantage for them for that, you think?
Well, I guess that file that under rust versus rust, like,
right.
It's the eternal debate there.
Yeah. The classic rest versus rust debate. And you're also, I mean, you'd be talking that series as I take a peek into the weekend here. They won't it's going to take a while for that series to keep moving too. They won't even have, well, as I see we're losing Zach a little bit here. That series won't even have game 4 until almost a week from tonight. They will play game 4 next Monday. Is the earliest that series can close out too. So they are going to be playing for a very lengthy series. Game 1 is tonight on Tuesday. Then they play game 2 on Thursday night. Okay, that's more normal. Game 3 on Saturday. Game 4 on Monday. So it is going to take a long time for that series to wrap up and close out too. We could very easily be seeing a situation like we did last year where round 2 has started while round 1 is still kind of wrapping up and finishing up a little bit here as this series just takes its sweet time in getting going. They are just getting the second period underway in there right now. You had Sam Bennett get the scoring started with a goal just about 4 minutes into regulation. Then Jake Gunsel scored to tie the game, and then Sam Reinert put Florida back on top. So the Panthers have never trailed at this point in this series, though Tampa has outshot Florida 10-6 at this point. But of course, as we always talk about, it's the ones that go into the net are the important one, are always the important ones, not necessarily the shot on goal, but the ones that go in. As Zach is back with us. Zach, this series, the earliest this series is going to get done too is next week, Monday. This is going to take a while for this series. We might see another round 2 starts while round 1 is still going on, like we did last year.
That would not surprise me at all. I feel like these two are definitely evenly matched, and to go back to my earlier point, like, yeah, it just depends on how you feel about rest versus rust. Like, are you happy to have all the extra time to prepare, or are you sitting around twiddling your thumbs and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish we could just get this going already. Like, come on, chomping at the
bit.
Like,
yeah. To put it in perspective, if this series were to go the distance, Sunday, May 4th would be game 7 in the series. The Carolina New Jersey series, that would also, if it went the distance, you'd be looking at May 4. So they're not the only ones there. Ottawa, Toronto, if it were to go the distance, would be May 3rd, would be its game 7. So they are, even though they're a late start, they are going to kind of pick up speed a little bit and try to catch up to everybody.
Well, I think that's hard to do, though. I feel like you're already doing every other night, and then with 2 days in between when you're switching cities.
They may, let me look at the schedule again for the series. They may not be doing that. Let's see. Game 1 obviously is tonight. Game 2 Thursday, then Saturday, then Monday, then they are straight up every other day. Now that they have started, they are going every other day. They're looking at it as, look, it's a distance from Tampa to Miami. It's not far. You don't even need to get on a plane if you don't want to. You can take a bus. It's not that far. All right, now I got to look it up. How far is it from Tampa to Tampa to Miami? Stall for a moment while I do some Googling, shall we?
I got you. Now that you say that makes total sense. I mean, yeah, for one that's within the same state, they don't need a 2 days turnaround. That's ridiculous. When they're switching cities, I mean, the same thing could be said for the Battle of Ontario. Let's look at that one while we're at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see, from Amerant Bank Arena to Amalie Arena. Let's just do that, shall we? So from Amalie Arena to Amerant Bank. So for the Battle of Florida, if you are driving it, it's 4 hours one way.
Okay.
And if you were to fly it, you'd be talking what? An hour at the most, probably not even. You're talking 30 minutes,
Right.
Because let's face it, they're doing charter flights. They're not flying commercially.
Yeah.
That's a quick hop, that's a quick hop, step, and a jump. 20 minutes in the air, you land, you're done. Yeah, you can absolutely play every other day with that series.
Yeah. Well, okay. So same being said for Toronto and Ottawa. It's a 4.5 hour drive or a 55-minute flight.
And they're not from the Midwest, so they're going to opt for the flight.
Yeah, right.
You know, us Midwestern,
Well,
us
it might be
Midwesterners,
the
we think
Midwest.
4.5 hours, we're fine. Let's drive it. It's fine. We'll be fine, everybody. It'll be fine. Everybody else will say, "Are you
Well, they
nuts?"
could be considered the Midwest Canada, don't you know?
Yeah, maybe, but just to put that in perspective too, they are doing every other day for the first 4 games. Then after that, they do have 1 2-day break in there between games 4 and 5. But then they're every other
Okay,
day the rest of the way.
so hang on. So, is it 2-2-1-1-1?
Yes. Yep. 2-2-1-1-1.
Okay, so you get a home and away stand fully completely out of the way, and then you get the break right before the 1-1-1. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. For the battle between Toronto and Ottawa there, which so Toronto's up 2-1 right now with 11.5 minutes to go. If Toronto, let's make the assumption here. Let's say Toronto holds on. Sorry, Toronto fans. I know I just jinxed it for you. How long does this series go?
Well, that's maybe with the scheduling design there, maybe that's what they're thinking is maybe they're thinking it doesn't even go past 4.
Maybe. Gosh, Toronto sweeping an opponent in the first round.
They killed the Billy Goat and then some.
Yes. We'll demolish your first round. You'll demolish your first round shenanigans. Absolutely.
Yeah. Killed the Billy Goat. We burned its remains and then we buried it 6 feet under.
Exactly there. Exactly.
That would definitely. Oh man, but how long? They've had so much trouble in the first round for so long that would 1 year really put it to rest? Like, I don't know.
I tell you what, sometimes that's all it takes is you get that one, and once you get that one, you're all set, you're all taken care of. You get that monkey off your back, basically. That is very much a thing. That is very much a way that it can go. So I would not put it past Toronto that, okay, we got past the first round. We're good. Now we can, this is no longer this difficult, perplexing, oh my gosh, what do we do? What are we doing here? How do we get out of this round? They know how to get out of the round now. They've done it once. They've done it once already. So
yeah. Well, they had an interesting, going back to the Florida and the Tampa Bay series, that interesting point on the radio the other day, and it was talking about how maybe Tampa just flipped this switch and because they were talking about teams they'd be scared to see in the next round, and Tampa could be back into their form from 4 years ago when they won the 2 back-to-back cups. I mean, they're missing Stamkos, but they've added Gensel. They've added a couple other pieces. Yeah, so that might be, like we were talking, it might be a tight series, but they could be a scary matchup in the second round is what I'm hearing.
Tampa, yeah. They're, they've got the pedigree, they've got the history there. They still have Braden Point even though there's no point in warmups. You know, they've always got that. They've always got that. Speaking of travel, that's going to be some fun travel in that second round matchup. However that winds up, you're going to be going from somewhere in Canada to somewhere in Florida. Back and forth.
Oh,
There in the
dang.
second round. The winner of Toronto, Ottawa
Oh,
takes on the winner of Tampa, Florida.
Either Toronto. Oh my gosh! Right.
Yep, because
Wow.
they're all lined up in
Florida just
in
scored
that
again.
division. What's that?
Oh yeah, true. Yep. Florida's up again. They just got another one. They got 3-1 now.
Oh, there you go. So the Panthers, at least for this night, the defending champs are absolutely showing that they can still do it. No reason to think that they can't. You know, absolutely no reason to think that they couldn't.
Yeah.
So I still would give the edge to Florida in that one. To have the Panthers be the ones to come out of that round victorious. That's still how I'm thinking and feeling. I don't remember. So I know we did kind of predictions last week, but now that we actually see how it's lined up, did you want to change your prediction in any way, shape, form, or fashion, since we actually now have the legit bracket?
Right. 1 second. Go ahead and filibuster.
All right. All right. So this is me doing my version of the NCAA March Madness bracket here. You and I have talked about how a lot of times when I fill that out, I fill it where I want to see all the Final Four be all from the same conference.
Sure.
We could, and the NHL would simultaneously love this and also hate it. We could have an all Canada conference finals.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's what I'm rooting for now in
Okay.
this playoff. I think I'm not sure, but I think that's what I'm rooting for now. That would mean we'd have Winnipeg versus Edmonton in the West, and then we'd have Montreal versus either Toronto or Ottawa, probably Toronto in the East.
Okay.
So we'd have not only would that mean that Canada would be guaranteed to win the cup for the first time in 30 years.
Right.
the American viewership would just disappear halfway through the playoffs in the NHL. Wait a minute. The NHL playoffs, what are those? That's only happening in Canada this year. I'm sorry, we're not interested.
Yeah. We got 2 guys from Michigan watching it, and that's it.
Right. Yeah. You'd have the state of Minnesota and the state of Michigan paying attention. The entire rest of the country of the United States anyway, would be tuned out. Meanwhile, in Canada, every night would be a freaking holiday.
I know, right?
We're sorry. Canada is closed for business. All we are doing is watching playoff hockey for the next 4 weeks. Come see us after somebody has after the cup has finally come home.
After 30 some years, yeah, to have a 100% chance of it would be incredible.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
the
100%
retaliation for the tariffs.
Yes. Yes. There we go. You may take our tariffs, but you will never have our cup. We're taking this back now. Thank you.
Not only are we pulling the American whiskey off the shelves, we're also retaliating for the tariffs.
But yeah, I think I have decided that that's just what I'm rooting for now. I want the all Canada conference finals.
I love it.
Montreal versus Washington in the first round is making me really nervous.
Oh my
making
gosh,
me
right.
really nervous there. The rest of it, I can actually legitimately see happening, especially if it's Toronto that comes out of the Toronto Ottawa series.
Oh yeah.
I could see you. There's a very easy argument to be made for 3 of those. It's then
Yeah.
that Montreal one that really, Montreal was
Right.
really hot at the end of the regular season until, oh, hey guys, we have
Yeah.
to actually clinch a playoff spot. Ugh, that got scary.
Oh. Oh wait, we have to win to do that?
Oh, you mean we don't just get in automatically because we're Canadian? Okay. Ugh.
Yeah. What I was looking at was okay, so yeah, Tampa Bay trying to take back its form from 4 years ago. Okay, no Stamkos, but they added Gensel. Um, Another piece that they re-added actually, Yanni Gord.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, they did. Yeah, yeah. It's not a difficult case. It's not a difficult argument to make to have Tampa win the battle for Florida. Yeah,
True.
yeah,
But yeah, in terms of predictions, I'm sticking with my number ones. I'm sticking with Winnipeg and Washington, even though
yeah.
I was a little nervous the other night when they almost blew it.
Yeah, I have decided I want the all Canada conference final. So I'm gonna shake things up. I'm gonna say we wind up Toronto Winnipeg. That's what I'll go with. I'll go with Toronto Winnipeg now in the Stanley Cup final, and we wind up with the all Canada show, and we have that, and then it'll just be again, Minnesota and Michigan will care. North Dakota will care. North Dakota will care as well. The other 47 states will move on to something.
The NBA playoffs.
Right. Yeah. The NBA playoffs for sure.
I mean,
Well, let's
hey, most of Detroit's going to be rooting for the Pistons anyway, so this is their first time in the playoffs in forever. So
yeah, but they're not going to last. Let's face it. They're not going to last.
But if they don't have an American hockey team to root for anywhere nearby, then
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And good point about Minnesota. I mean, look at the shapes on the map. I mean, they're just mini Manitoba, anyways.
Exactly. Well, that is the state of hockey. They will always care. They will always care. They will absolutely always care. Well, we did have some non-playoff news that has come out the last couple days. We had a few coaches get fired, and we've also had a general manager be informed that he's not going to be retained. So let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll get everybody caught up on what job openings are now available. So everybody has a chance to brush up their resumes and know where to send them, and we'll go from there. So this is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach back with you here for just a couple of more minutes before we wrap things up here tonight. All right, everybody, it is time to sharpen your resumes. The NHL regular season ended, and much like in many other sports, namely the NFL or the NBA, when the regular season ends and teams underperform, head coaches get the boot. Out they go. We had 3 head coaches get fired within the last couple of days, and I thought, in honor of Larry B, I would pick the Anaheim Ducks for the colors here. We had getting assigned new leases on life. Greg Cronin of the Anaheim Ducks, Peter Laviolette of the New York Rangers, and then also Dan Bielsma of the Seattle Kraken all get fired. Zach, for you, which one is least surprising? Which one is most surprising?
I think Bielsma is probably the most surprising. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Okay, good. Cut out for a sec. Sorry. Bielsma's probably the most surprising. I know he had success with Pittsburgh, I want to say. So it's surprising he only got, he got such a short leash, really.
Yeah,
short
1 year.
lease. Yeah, because, the Kraken have only been around for, 3 or 4 seasons, and Dave Haxtell only got 2 or 3, and then Bielsma took over, and, like you said, he's only got 1 season so far. Give him a chance, guys. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very, very short leash there. Which one's the least surprising to you?
Oh, but side note, the guys that fired him decided to promote themselves. So
that was nice of them. Oh,
he did a crap job. He's got to go. But that's it. That's on him. We did a great job. So
we did a
wonderful
wonderful
job. Promotion. Yeah,
we did a wonderful job. We did a wonderful job sacking the people that were in charge of this mess.
Right, yeah. Man. Laviolette, is he Islanders or Rangers?
Rangers, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's the most unsurprising, just because the Rangers have been so good for the last couple of years, every year making it to the playoffs, if not the Eastern Conference Finals even, and then this year nothing. So yeah, it's probably time for him to go.
That's exactly how I lined it up too. It was Peter Laviolette. You knew that was coming. For the Rangers, this was the year where you had to do it. You made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. You felt like, all right, you've got one more opportunity here to get the job done, and they came up so short. And it wasn't even like, oh, we were competitive, had just one more game gone our way or one less injury happened. No, they were done. They were done by New Year's. You knew that the Rangers were toast. So yeah, the Peter Laviolette firing was the least surprising. The Dan Bielsma one, I was surprised to see that one come through. That Dan Bielsma, the axe after just one season there in Seattle, that was surprising to me to see that one.
Yeah, I saw it on their Facebook today. They had on their story. It was just like, "Oh, thank you, Dan Bielsma." And in my head, I'm like, "Wait, didn't he like just get hired last year?"
Yeah,
What the crap?
what's going on here? And then there's a general manager opening as well. That this just came down earlier today. That Lou Lamoriello is not going to going to have his contract renewed by the Islanders. So he's not being fired. He's simply not going to have his contract renewed. He's being fired.
Yeah.
You know, that's getting fired without having to go through HR.
Yeah. Mutually agreed to part ways.
Right. Sure. Yeah, exactly. So you've got a GM opening now with the Islanders. So that could be, general manager jobs are always one of those that are always more intriguing because they come up less frequently. If you're Patrick Waugh, are you nervous now with the Islanders? Are you worried that the new general manager is going to come in and want to hire his own head coach?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that's how it works in college.
Yeah. It's how it works in a lot of places. Oh, the guy who is in charge of hiring you is being replaced. Quick. Here's everything good I did last year. Please don't fire me. Oh, and here's your favorite brand of chocolate and scotch and all those things. Here you go. Welcome to your first day on the job. Please don't get rid of me.
I sent it to you and also Elon Musk. And here's my productivity report.
I promise I was a good boy. I promise. Please don't fire me.
Right.
Please. I promise we'll do better.
Right. Going back to Cronin real quick.
Yeah.
You said that was Anaheim?
Yes. Yeah. The Anaheim Ducks.
Gosh, that's so funny. I didn't even know they had a coach named Cronin. I thought they were talking like basketball, like Mick Cronin from UCLA.
No, Greg Cronin. I know. With the Ducks, it's always kind of a does it really matter who's in charge? They're just going the wrong direction at all times.
Boo.
Yeah, they've really just been heading in the wrong direction, but. So yeah, three new head coaching vacancies, and that's still, the Blackhawks they still have a head coaching vacancy. I believe are we at 5 or are we at there were 8 coaches that got fired this season. So okay. We have 8 vacancies for head coaches. Because I don't think anybody was given permanent tags for all the people that were fired in. We had 5 fired in season and 3 at the end of the season. So we've got 8 spots. That's a lot of spots. That's over a quarter of the league at this point.
What's Alan Vigneault up to?
Getting ready to be hired by one of these guys.
It always seems to be retreads, man.
Alain Vigneault, he'll wind up somewhere. Somebody will pay him.
Tortorella,
Tortorella's going to get a job somewhere. Mike Babcock probably is going to get a job somewhere. Round up. It's just like the end of Casablanca. Round up the usual suspects.
Right. Yeah. Where's Jeff Blashill? Oh wait.
Exactly. So if you have any interest, though, sharpen up those resumes, send them in. You never know till you try. You never know till they tell you no.
Hey,
Well, that is going to do it for our show here tonight. Shout out and thank you again to each one of our sponsors: Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to be placing your orders. Vital Apparel, go to vitalapparel.com to place your order. They get 50% off of their comfortable and inspiring gym wear when you enter the promo code IESR. Seal the Deal Wax Seals. We're going to be sending out mail, hopefully you're sending your taxes on time, but you've got other bills or mail that you send out, may as well personalize it, have it when it comes from you. Go to iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Deals. Place to order, get the personalized stamp of approval on everything you send out. And of course, thank you to IE Sports Radio for providing the platform. Follow along with the entire network on social media on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook at IE Sports Radio. You can now follow all the shows exclusively on YouTube. That is where you find all of the shows. Thank you to everybody that was watching the shows live tonight across Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Excuse me. Thank you to everyone that was tuning in. We'll be right back here next week if you're caught up on everything going on in the NFL playoffs. The PWHL will also be restarting its season this week, and they've got a new expansion club announced. Maybe a second one on the way. So we'll take a look in on the PWHL next week as well. Until then, everybody be good. Don't get checked in the boards. Light that lamp. Be sure to check the 5 volts. That could also be tell the people.
Don't close the box and protect your 5 volts.
Sounds good to me. Of course, that couples time, Adam Turner. Together, we are the Neutral Zone. We do this thing every Tuesday night. We will see you next time.